I just thought that I would pop on in. I wanted to share a little inspiration with you. And I think this is so important. Whenever you feel as though you're going through a very difficult time, and it could be something that is like external in your world, or it could be internal, or it could be a combination. But whatever it is, there are two things that can totally transform your perception during that difficult time. And the first thing that you have to do is stop all of the outside noise and go within and just be still. Because you see, the inner strength comes from within. And I know there are different ways of reaching that goal, reaching that state. But personally, for me, that is the higher power, the Most High, Jesus Christ, energy. And if I can go inside and get still enough to quiet everything and just be, just exist in that moment, that allows Jesus Christ energy to fill up my being, okay? It fills you up and it rises you up. And it is the only true way that I have found that you can actually rise up higher than whatever it is that is bringing you the perception of whatever it is that is draining or causing you any kind of stress or worry or frustration or symptoms or sickness, or, as I said, no matter whether it's external, it could be something actually happening in your external world, or it could be something, it could be a combination even. But when you are able to do that, you get that energy. There is a all-knowing, all-being, higher frequency energy within. And for me, it is the Christ energy. And it has to be the energy that is stronger than you, but it has to be able to work through you. It has to be able to come through you because it is within you, but it has to be activated. And when you are able to get to that space where it's super quiet and you can stop and just absorb that energy, you can actually begin to change the whole dynamic of the situation that is pertaining to your perception. So yeah, it sounds a little woohoo and all this, but it's very simple actually. It's so simple that it is overlooked and people just don't get it, you know. But honestly, there's nothing more simpler than to be able to take your present moment and turn inward, turn that inward, turn your presence into your conscience and let your body just be still, and you actually just kind of become a blank canvas for the Spirit to work through you, because the Holy Spirit that works through you is a cleansing spirit that uplifts naturally, because it's a spirit that is pure. And a pure spirit of light is a spirit that is a cleansing, and it empties out, it dissolves all that negative stuff. So that is the first thing a person that is the first important tip that you can do to overcome these things. Now, I'm not saying that this is an easy process by any means. I mean, I know from my own experiences that it can be so challenging. Even though I said it's the simplest thing to do, it can be so challenging because you're of this, if you're of the earth, if you're living in this earth, like, okay, like I am in the, I'm in this world, I'm not of the world. So I always have to keep that in mind, and that helps a lot because you're kind of like an observer. But it's not a cure-all, because you get caught up just because you're in this world and you're not of it, you are caught up with everything else that is of this world. So when you're in that predicament, being not of this world but in it, it can be a little bit challenging for you. But that's why it's so important to take that inner time to go in, to reflect and just be still and be quiet and give the Holy Spirit a chance to come in and cleanse. Because as I said, it's a purifying experience. So that's number one. The second thing that can help you so much is to take your mind off of whatever it is. The way to rise up above any situation, any circumstance, is to know exactly what it is within your being that brings you the most joy. And if it's something that brings you joy, then it is a natural, it's like a natural medicine. It's a medicinal type of thing. Now, for me, it is my being creative. It's creativity. And I know there's so many times that you feel so boggled down that you can't even get to that place. But I'm telling you that if you just try to start and figure out what it is that makes you happy to do, and then just start preparing yourself to do that, it is the next thing that can help you so much and shift your whole perspective. See, when your perspective shifts in that sort of way, your circumstances shift. It's like, it's a magical type of thing that happens. It's actually like, okay, it's kind of like you're a alchemist. You're becoming an alchemist of your own environment. And it's a form of manifestation. It's a form of manifesting something that is something to come positive of whatever it is that is bringing you down. So like, say you're in a state that you're really feeling down or whatever, and you get yourself into you make a shift, you make a mental shift to get into a creative state of mind. The first thing you got to do is just make that shift. That's the hardest part, is the shifting out of from the negative to the creative. Okay. I mean, this can apply for different people for different things, you know. I mean, for some people it might not be creative. You might be shifting into something else. But in order to be able to shift that, you see, you have to be able to place your physical being, your physical mind, you see, your physical body into a place of being able to shift your whole perspective, your whole state of mind, from whatever it is that is bringing you down into whatever it is that brings you the joy. And for me, that's like being the creative thing. So yeah, find the things that you enhance the creativity in you, in your life, in your being, you know, and just start by placing those things around where you can look at them and see them. Sometimes you might not even be able to start doing that. It might take time, but it's the small steps that along the way, it's like they're little stepping stones to help you get there. And then it builds, and then it becomes easier and easier, and you're able to kind of, it's not like you're escaping anything. You're just shifting. You're shifting out of that space that you don't need to be there. You don't need to be in a draining negative space. You need to be in an uplifted space that brings you inner joy and lets the Holy Spirit work through you, because the Holy Spirit works through you when you are, the Holy Spirit is always with you. The Holy Spirit is there when you're down in your lowest points and when you're in your highest points. But there are times that you really have to put in the work, because you can't just sit there in your doom and gloom. You have to work at it. You have to work to bring yourself up. I always say, the Most High helps those who help themselves. If you're going to sit there and just be down and out, you're not going to get anywhere, But if you make that effort, make that choice to rise up above it, then that's when the Holy Spirit will come in and give you that little extra boost you need. So, yeah, I would say the two most important things to keep you in a positive state of mind when you're going through a hard state of mind is to get quiet and invite the Holy Spirit within inside of your being, where he already is. He's already inside of you, but you have to be quiet so that he can rise up, come up through you, and uplift you. And then the second thing is to hone in on the thing that gives you the most joy. And it could be different for everybody, but I always thought of myself as a creative person, so naturally the joy comes from being creative. So, yeah, and anything that you enjoy that brings you that kind of joy is going to be a healing, medicinal type of thing. So I hope that inspires you, and yeah, just remember to always try to take the time to do the things that you enjoy, because there's no greater gift, and you really need to count yourself so lucky and so blessed to be able to reach that place in time. Because, like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody, really. This world is a very unpredictable world, okay? People are so unpredictable. You can't count on people. You have to have an inner strength. You have to have a higher knowing, a faith, And when you have that, you're able to call in that, and you're able to shift. It's almost like a time. It's like you're time shifting. You're shifting out of that paradigm into something that is more uplifting. Okay, because that is the power that is within you, and if you don't want that to sit dormant in your being. You want to be able to access it. Okay, so how do you access that? By putting it into action. Like God says, it's like your faith is dead without works. You have to put the work into it. Okay, that might not exactly be the right verse, but it was something like that. Faith without works is dead. You have to put the work behind it yourself, and then the faith, and then God comes in and does the rest. You do your best, and God will do the rest. So just try to always stay uplifted, and yeah, I hope that helps you. I know from my own experiences, guys, it's not an easy thing, but I know that it's so possible to do. So just remember, keep positive, keep creative, and don't let those kinds of things get you down, because you have everything within you to shift that whole thing and turn it around and turn it into something beautiful. And it doesn't matter if it's not beautiful to anybody else. If it's beautiful to you, if it brings you joy, who cares? There's going to be others that appreciate it, but that's not the point. The point is that you actually were able to shift yourself out of a dire state of mind or a dire situation. Heaven forbid, you might be able to shift yourself out of a dangerous situation. So just remember that. It is so important. You have to go within to seek that wisdom, to seek that power. The wisdom is there. The wisdom is inside, just waiting to come up and come out. But you have to let the Holy Spirit, do the work in you. And how do you do it? You just quiet your mind and you just think on the Most High. The gratitude is the first thing. Gratitude is one of the best ways to just be so grateful and thankful that you actually have that inside of you, that you have allowed that inside of you, that you have opened up your heart to receive that. That in itself is something to be so grateful for and so proud of yourself for. So don't forget that. Those are so important little things, guys. And until next time, take care and remain blessed. Peace out. See you soon. Back, and I just wanted to share today something that is really fun and on the creative side, and I hope that you find these things inspiring. I just wanted to share some of my latest projects. So here we are, and so the first one that I did was this. And this is really exciting and fun because basically I've had all these little pieces of materials that I've already had to work with. So these things didn't cost anything. And besides that, well, I did buy recently some fringe, but everything else is things that I've already had. And so I made a bag, and this is the first one that I actually made. I just love this bag because it's huge, it's nice and big, and I love the tapestry that I used. Can you see that? So I basically just hand sewed this, and then I actually used hot glue on it as well. And we had a nice big bag. Back in the olden days, they would call these carpet bags. And I actually had a real carpet bag years ago that I had thrifted. And it was so beautiful. It was kind of a rose pink, and it was made out of a piece of oriental carpet. And I carried that thing around for a long time. It was very old, but that kind of inspired me to make this bag, because this is the same old-fashioned kind of tapestry that a carpet bag to me would be made out of. So a carpet bag is a bag that is really big, oversized, and you could carry all your stuff in there. And then I actually used a pair of blue jeans to make the flap. So it's a nice big deep bag. And the fun thing about this is I took the strap off of the other purse that I had been carrying around, and I sewed on these little things right here so that I could hook it, because this is interchangeable, as you can see, and I just put them on there like that. And it's just a really fun bag. So let me kind of show you how this thing looks. It's a really amazing bag. But yeah, you can see how these straps can be changed out on other bags as well. But I left this part kind of plain because I thought, well, I can add a pin or, do something else at another time with it. But for the meantime, I just added the trim going across here. I thought the colors were so pretty. It had the same color as these little roses and leaves. So yeah, that is the first one that I made. And yeah, it has really been a life enhancer for me, because I needed a big bag and I could not find a bag that really suited me. So I just decided to go ahead and create my own. Okay, so as you can see, here's the bag. Now, the second bag that I made was part of a really amazing, fun little project that I'm actually still not quite finished with this bag. But let me show you how adorable this one is. So this bag, as you can see, is the same concept. I used a belt this time for the strap, and the belt I hooked on because the belt had, let me see, how did I do this? Yeah, this is a belt, and what I did was the belt, okay, when you find a belt that I actually just came across these. This is another belt, and as you can see, it has these little hooky things. So I came across two of these. So I intend to use these. As I said, if you find these kind of belts, guys, they're very amazing to make purses with, handbags, shoulder strap bags. And this cool thing is they're going to be interchangeable. So I recently just came across those, but this is a belt that I had for decades, a very long time. And it's so cute because you can see it's got a chain here, and then it's got this part here. It's like a faux snake skin print, and then it's gold on the underneath side. So it's either way you wear, it's going to be so cute. But anyway, these are some charms. This little charm comes with the belt. And then these were some charms that I had made a long time ago, but they're just so beautiful. When I tried them on with the purse and everything, I thought, oh my god, looks really cute. And I'll show you, I made all these little charms. It's got little crosses, little beads, and this was so beautiful. This here, I actually think I bought this, and let me read this to you. Hold on just a second. It's really pretty. Okay, so this is so cute. See how pretty that is? And it says grace. And it says, we saw his glory, the glory of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John 1:14. And just look at the embossing of the metal. It's just so beautiful. So, yeah, I can see now better with the glasses. So this here has the little cross. So I bought that, and that I think probably at the time inspired me to create these little dangly things. And so I just created this whole thing with all these little beads, and I created a whole bunch of these, and let me just show you. It clips off. There we go. Okay, so it's interchangeable, but yeah, we have the beautiful rhinestone F for faith, and then we have all of these pretty little trinkets that I made. And then how I did that was I just clipped it on. Let's see, where did we have it? We clipped it on right here. So it's just an added little decoration to the bag. And so yeah, it's just made out of the blue jeans. I took this vintage looking antique fabric and I just did it like in a circle, and then I trimmed it out there and added the fringe, and then I wanted to add a little more embellishing, so I this is what I call shabby chic, and so I shabby chiced it a little bit with all of this. And so when I say I'm not finished, I'm going to add this lace to it, because I came across all this beautiful lace, and it needed to be kind of I didn't want it to be really white. I had white laces, but I thought how pretty this would be. You know, I thought about just leaving the raw edges, but then I thought, no, I think I'll go ahead and trim that out with the lace, just like that. So yeah, so that's my plan. That's the one that I'm still working on. When I get that lace on there, it will be totally done. But so fun. And okay, so then I went even a little bit further, and I got into making some really cute little. Okay, this is really fun. This is let's see, do I have another one in here? These are what I call my little, let's see, what was I calling them? My little, well, they're just little pouches that you can put your stuff in. So yeah, like lotions or whatever. And they're just fun. These are just so springy looking. And so they go with the bag. And you could put your sunglasses in them or anything. But yeah, I wanted to have everything organized. So I created those little pouches, which are so fun. So yeah, and then I just added all the trim. So that one is the one that is the work in progress. And then we have this one. Same thing here as far as the strap goes. This is a really cute bag, really beautiful. Now this is kind of boho looking. I would call this my boho well, I would call them all kind of boho. These two are kind of more like the romantic Victorian, or just, you know, shabby chic looking bags, where this is more of a boho look. But anyway, as you can see, I just did all kinds of stuff. This was a bandana, and then I used the trims and the fringes and all that, and even did the back like that. This was some really cool ribbon. And in this bag, okay, I didn't make any of the pouches for this bag, although I have another one that I will share with you, and I made a cute little pouch with it. But anyway, I had a whole bunch of these little metal rings, and so I thought how perfect they were. So again, these bags were easy because they were all basically, this bag here was basically all done with the hot glue. I've made hot glue bags before that lasted, that I still have even, so I know they last a long time, but I always reinforce the straps by sewing them. So yeah, I sew these little, okay, as you can see, I sewed the little ribbon tabs on here, and then I connected it to the rings, and I used hot glue as well. But yeah, to reinforce that, and then these can clip on and off. And so we have this really beautiful, amazing, fun boho bag. And I have so many pieces of clothing and things that actually go with this color theme, is why I wanted to do that color theme on that. So yeah, so fun. So we have that one, and then we have one more. And this is another one. It's so cute. It's so fun. And I'm telling you, it's just so easy, guys, to get creative and make something out of something that you would normally just discard, or that you wouldn't even think about. These are bandanas that I got years ago, and I have like several of these bandanas, and they were under $1. I think I got them at Hobby Lobby, and these are old blue jeans that I've used. Just little scraps, and then the ribbons and the lace and the fringe. And then this one, okay, oh, this is a really fun one. Okay, so this one, I made this adorable little, okay, so this is what I was calling, okay, now I remember, I was calling it the, my wisdom pouch. My little wisdom pouch, to carry like your little things in, you know, that you might need. And this one is just so adorable and so cute. I actually made a little strap here so that I could actually hook this onto a belt if I wanted. And I thought, how cute would that be? Not this kind of belt, of course. I think I even have a belt in the purse that would go around there. But back in the olden days, they would carry little Victorian-style bags like these, and they would keep their smelling salts or whatever it was that they needed, you know. And so that's why I kind of went with that, because I just love that old world Victorian, Edwardian style, and this just lended itself to it so perfectly. It was so fun to make. And yeah, so I did that one. And in this one, let's see, what did I put in here? I just have a little ribbon here that so you can untie it and get out what you need. And in this one, I have my some sunscreen. But yeah, they're just a lot of fun. So I thought that was so cute. And these were actually my husband's pajamas that he no longer wore. So I actually was able to get a lot of fabric out of those pajamas. And so with those, I decided to make these little cute pouches. At least I got this one made. And yeah. So I have that one that goes inside the bag. And then I also let's see, I think we have another one in here. Oh yeah, we made this cute little pouch as well, and this is made out of the same fabric that I used on the bags. So it was made out of the bandana. And I made this as a little pin, so I just pinned that on there to decorate the little pouch. And this, actually, I can tell now, this has the belt in there. So yeah, I have a little belt in here that if I wanted to just wear the pouch, I could just take the belt out, and then the pouch fits perfectly on the belt. And I might do another video on that, showing that, styling up the handbags, and maybe even a little further I can share with you. Okay, I'm starting to lose my voice, but I will share with you how I wear the little pouches and how I would style those up in a fun, creative, kind of boho-ish look. So let's see. I hope you can see. There's my pile of creative bags. And yeah, so just remember to always stay in that creative place, because that is really the most healing, fun place a person can be, is in their own little creative world. And it's just really exciting and fun to be able to create your own things. And this strap, I just used a ribbon, so it can just be that simple. I just used a black ribbon, and yeah, I don't think I'll need to do anything else to this one. I thought about adding some trim around the edges. I'm not sure yet, but so I just thought that I would share these fun little projects with you, and I hope that you get inspired, guys. And yeah, I hope you're having a great spring so far, and so, see you soon.